Good morning. I've been seeing and hearing a lot of things lately, and I just wanted to come on live and tell you guys about it. It is nice and bright and early in the morning, so early, in fact, that the sun is not yet up. I can kind of see it maybe over that way. Anyways, so basically, scammers have been getting more and more brazen lately, and I've been hearing more and more stories of people being taken advantage of, and it's not just online. So there's a bunch of different things. Maybe I should start back in, we all know about text messaging and email. So one of the first things that happened is the people that do like AT&T, T-Mobile, Verizon, they all got together and they said, we don't want the FCC, which is the Federal Communication Commission, controlling us. So we will voluntarily, require this verification for commercial accounts called A2P 10DLC, which is for phone numbers that we use in the U.S. Anyways, I don't know why my internet connection is weird. I'm right by the house. The house is like that, like mere feet from me. So, anyways, maybe it's the brick. Okay, so basically with 10DLC, right, any businesses that want to send text messages have to prove that they are in fact a business, and they have to tie their U.S. EIN number to it. There's a different process for businesses outside of the U.S. that want to send text message into the U.S. It's a similar process, but a different verification, because businesses outside the U.S. obviously don't have EIN numbers. And so they've made it very, very difficult for people to get registered for this. And it's caused a lot of headaches, as you can imagine. And people are still receiving text messages from random phone numbers at random times. Probably not as much as before, because it's getting harder and harder to get a commercial account that can send out bulk messages. So they literally have to pay people to send them out one by one, or run software that can do that on different numbers and stuff, which is harder and harder to get because all the legit businesses are having the loop closed, right? Well, this has made it really hard for new companies to get authorization to send out messages in the U.S., and taking weeks, if not months in some cases, all so that we can have better security in our text messages and whatnot, and less spam, right? Well, apparently Gmail and Yahoo saw this, and they're like, well, let's close the loop where people can pretend to be from other domains. And so they require now 3 different kinds of setup for you to even be able to send out an email on an email account and have it reliably land in the inbox. So if you get something like Google Workspace with a custom domain, you need to set up your DKIM, your DMARC record, and your SPF record, which, is easy enough to do if you know the process, but a lot of people don't know the process, they're not aware of it. Google Workspace doesn't make it very obvious that you need to set up a DKIM at all. A lot of the services still don't have ways to automatically do the DMARC record. And so there's just a lot of stuff where legit email is now landing, or in some cases, I'm probably mail that I want to hear from different companies is being blocked because they just don't know about this new policy and nobody's paying attention. right? So, luckily I know about this policy. I know about these policies. I've been studying them because I have to. Anyways, so I have to do that for my, my thing, right? So, while all this is happening, we're seeing toll booth scams where people are pretending to be from the toll company and saying that you have an overdue amount and to call them. And because people don't keep track of how many times they go through the toll booth, they think they're legit. They end up paying these people money. I actually fell for this in a way because they said I owed them $35. So what I did is I logged into my toll booth company, not going through their number that they gave me. And I went and I saw that there was $35 on my account. And so I assumed that was a negative amount. And so I paid them the $35 that I thought I owed them. So my balance went up to $70. So now I have $70 in my toll account that I can use for tolls. But, I would have, so what I practice is what's called, I get an alert and I immediately ignore the number or link or anything on that alert, and I immediately go into the actual company itself and I check, right? And so that's how I make sure that I don't get, quote unquote, scammed, right? Well, here's the thing. People think the U.S. mail is safe. It's not. Okay. My parents recently did some stuff with the house, right? And they signed some papers at the bank. And they have been receiving notices on bank letterhead from this bank they used that says, oh, your mortgage, you need to sign some papers for your mortgage. Please call blah, 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 right? And it has a, mortgage reference number. Well, one, their mortgage is not through that bank. One of their other things is through that bank. And two, the reference number doesn't match any of their stuff. So my mom's like, this doesn't match. This is not, like, they're saying mortgage, and we didn't get a mortgage through this bank. And so, they're trying to be clever because they can see whenever something happens with the house in the public record, right? And so they will send people. My mother knows somebody that got scammed for $400 and another person that got scammed for $2,000 because of these letters that get sent out. So guys, if you're doing anything with your house or, thing like that where you're getting any kind of loan on your house, whether it's a mortgage, a HELOC, a second, whatever it is, please be careful of those letters, right? And if you have any questions, call the bank representative that you dealt with. Because, it's ridiculous. Because you can't even call the bank's general numbers these days because they don't know anything about anything, right? Most of them probably may not even know about the scam letters, although I imagine it should be common knowledge because enough people should be coming in with them by now. So anyways, all this to say, guys, it's not a matter of if your information will get online. It's a matter of when it's going to leak out and be used against you. And scammers are going to try old school methods. They're going to try new school methods. They're going to try any method they can to get a hold of your information and use it to try and get more of your information. All leading to, money or other things, stepping stones to get to other people to get money from them, right? Because most scammers, their whole thing is money. There are some other types of scammers out there that are after other things, but, those are a little bit rarer. In most cases, it's all about the money. So if anybody asks you to pay something, look it up. And don't ever, ever use any of the links or numbers that are in a message that you receive. Ever. You need to contact the company directly. There's this thing called Google. So what we do is we go to google.com and we type the name of the company, and we find their phone number, or we go to their website, right? We do not click links or call numbers. Also, if your computer starts beeping and saying, you have a virus, oh my gosh, you have a virus, call now. Don't do it. Turn off the machine and leave it. Turn it back on, and you'll have to force close apps and stuff like that. But never call the number or click on anything that's there, because sometimes what that is it's literally just a pop-up that was triggered on a site that you went to, that literally when you close that browser down, it can't do anything anymore because it was just a link and it's playing an audio file. Because you know how when you go to sites and sometimes the videos play automatically? Well, they can make the audio files play automatically too, right? And so you just have to be aware of that. I saw that one. Somebody on Facebook posted that, and I'm like, yep, scam, total scam. So, yeah, just be careful, right? Try not to, you gotta be so careful. So I will tell you this, my mom, having had that experience with the bank and fake bank letters, received a FedEx envelope for a appointment for my dad, but it wasn't from the VA, it was from a contractor. And because she didn't recognize the contracts people for evaluations and stuff, well, because she received this letter, she called the number, and she didn't want to give them any information. Well, because my dad's health information was protected, they kept citing HIPAA as to why they couldn't tell her anything. And she's like, well, you can't tell me anything, and I can't tell you anything because I don't know if you're legit. So what I did, I got out Google, I Googled the name of the place, and I'm like, okay, well, they're legit. And then I was reading the letter, and it actually had information on the physician and everything like that too. And I'm like, yeah, no, this is legit. We gotta deal with this appointment letter, right? So, guys, it's a fine line, right? It's just one of those things, right? Like now, every time my mom gets a piece of mail, she's gonna be like, is this for real? Like, she doesn't trust the mail anymore. Heck, she doesn't trust FedEx. You know how expensive it is to overnight letters on FedEx? I'm not sure how expensive it is, but that thing was overnighted on FedEx. I don't know a scammer that's going to overnight stuff on FedEx, but I hope they don't get any ideas from this live and be like, ooh, sometimes people don't, sometimes you get letters that are not from the U.S. Postal Service. Well, the thing is, all those bank letters came from the U.S. Postal Service, through the U.S. Postal Service. So, yeah, people are like, guys, it's the wild, wild west out there still. And we gotta stay vigilant and be careful. And there's just not much we can do other than that, right? If you have any questions, you see anything, please post it so your friends can tell you it's a scam also. Anyways, I'll see you guys later. Bye.